Hey everyone, and welcome to day 13 of my horror movie review marathon. And if you didn't guess already, I will be talking about the original, the first, Friday the 13th. How fitting! This movie is about a bunch of camp counselors who are trying to get Camp Crystal Lake open for business again after it was closed after a boy drowned in the lake. This movie starts off very simple, and the cool thing about the murder scenes is that it appears from the killer's point of view, which you don't see in a lot of movies nowadays. Or do you? The death scenes themselves were very quick and sometimes so unexpected. Sometimes I couldn't even tell if the lens was through the director's eye or the killer's, so it kind of switched off back and forth. It sort of left you, open for interpretation. But you could tell when somebody was going to get it when there was music playing. It didn't even show you directly what happens to the people until they start to just keel over and you see them all, bloody and destroyed. I'm glad this was the first time that I had seen this movie. I had seen the remake, which was probably more intense than this one was. This one was pretty enjoyable. I don't know how much of a scare it would be the second time I would see this movie, so I'll just have to test that theory when I get to watching this movie next time. These future camp counselors are just trying to get everything ready for the big day. There are a lot of people that don't want to see anything bad happening. They don't know at first if they can trust these kids. So they pretty much are. They're young adults, but because the town seemed to be so riddled and just so shaken up by the fact that something had happened here. Pretty intense. Not everyone is so trustworthy. As to be expected, never trust anybody who comes to pick you up after speeding down the road in a Jeep. Not that I have anything against Jeeps, but people driving them could be crazy. We don't want to have another Hitcher moment. There was just enough terror and violence to satisfy anyone in this movie. There's not much character development here, which tells me I shouldn't really care too much about the characters and what happens to them. But there was only one actor that I actually recognized, and that was Kevin Bacon. And it was also really surprising, him of all people in this movie, but it also shouldn't be surprising because he's had his fair share of being in some horror movies. Hollow Man. Speaking of some of the music that was playing in this movie, the same theme just kept playing over and over again, so you kind of knew something was definitely coming up. It's kind of like the Jaws theme. When that plays, you know something's about to go down. And I still find it spine-chilling that there's that noise where it's the breathing noise, I can't even replicate it, but it was just so creepy. I think it was parodied in Scary Movie. And for being only an hour and a half, the pacing was good and the transitions were decent. Well, the movie was pretty good, but it kept the killer sort of out of sight most of the movie, which, might seem good, especially for a movie like this, and it sort of gives you the big reveal in the end. I kind of like movies like that, so it leaves you more, intrigued. And for a starter movie that was to rev up the Friday the 13th franchise, I think it did a pretty good job at that. If I were to see the other movies after this one, it would be interesting to see, how this all started and how Jason Voorhees comes into the picture. In the comments what you guys thought of Friday the 13th. Come back tomorrow for my next horror movie review. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you.